So we are going to build a website using AI. You don't need to know code. LLMs can now build entire websites for you because they are trained on billions of lines of code from GitHub. And when I say the word billions, I'm not exaggerating. So they understand syntax, patterns, etc. better than like 70% of engineers themselves. So even if you're like not a coder, if you know what you want, you have clarity about what you want from the website, you just need to understand a few structures and a few handy tips that we're going to study today, and that will be enough. So I'm going to cover all three, ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini today, because different people have different paid plans for different uh, different tools like this. People with like a paid Gmail workspace will automatically have access to paid Gemini. So that's great. My preferred tool is Claude, but ChatGPT is also very popular, and they have a free paid plan for Indians. So I know a lot of people use that as well. Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT, that is the order in which they are good at websites. Claude does excellent production-ready websites, as we'll see in a few minutes. And Gemini also does a great job. It's just like Claude is a little bit easier to use in that way. And with ChatGPT, you need to hammer a little bit to get ideal results, but you will still get perfect results as long as you know what you want. So today we're going to make a simple one-pager website. I'm going to I've just come up with a hypothetical case study. That's Sarah Chen. She's an email marketing consultant, and we're going to make like a one-pager website for her. It will have all of these sections. There will be a contact form at the end. It's going to be mobile responsive, and there's going to be we're going to make sure it's a clean design. We're going to learn how to not only create the website at once, but also deploy it, maintain it, make changes in it, things like that. Yeah, I will jump right into the demo. So the three parts being that first you need to have the website copy. In the interest of time today, I'm going to let the LLM only create the copy for me. You, of course, can have your own copy written in a Word document or a markdown file, however you want to keep it real. You don't want to use LLM for writing, that is completely okay. You can use it directly for coding. We're going to learn how to sort of use that to design the layout, and we'll also try to put a few constraints such as brand guidelines, design cues, how to sort of change your website based on those things. But these are basically the broad parts of the prompt formula that we use. So I'm going to take this I'm going to take this prompt, and you will all have it once it's over also. And I'm going to use it with Claude first with Claude. So the prompt is basically just, as I mentioned before, I'm going to use Claude to write a copy as well in the interest of time. Instead of this, you can say, I need to build a simple one-page website for this, and please find attached the final copy of the entire website. And then instead of all this, you can ask the LLM to use the copy that you've given. Okay, I'm also going to paste the exact same prompt on ChatGPT and Gemini. Keep in mind that all of these are paid plans. It's paid plans are just better. It's just difficult to get things done with free plans. Okay, and we've got Gemini 3 here, which is again a paid plan. Cool. I am going to, it's suggested me a few colors and accents and fonts and things like that. It's also put out like a layout structure. I am going to accept it and tell it sounds good. So the second part of our, as I said, you can also upload a markdown file with the final content. The second part of the second stage of the entire process is asking it to create. So HTML file is where your copy goes and your structure goes. So that is something that the LLM will create. Once you tell it what you want it to build, and the CSS file is sort of like a style file, that is what will decide the type of font used, the colors used, etc. I will explain the difference between HTML and CSS files as we go further. But to create a very basic website, these are the only things you need. Now, I just want to take a moment, and this is something I wanted to actually start with, but I forgot, is show you something I created with an LLM. So this is my automation services website, and I created this entirely with LLM. I have, the only thing I've replaced some copy, but I've mostly created this with LLM. Yeah. And this color is popping, these everything, these animations, these little cues, everything is done. This is a form which you fill, it goes to my Calendly. So all of this is done with LLM, and say this free resource library, this entire thing is done with LLM. So this is an example of an output that you can create. But yeah, coming back to the prompt, we are going to ask it to make it mobile friendly. We'll ask for HTML and CSS files. We'll tell it to use a modern, clean design. And we'll ask it to use a functional contact form structure. So I'm going to paste this exact prompt in Claude, asking it that, okay, whatever you said sounds good. Now give me all of these files. So while Claude works, I'm going to quickly jump on ChatGPT and see what they have recommended. Okay, they've given me a revised headline, subheadline. They've come up with like example services on their own. They've given me like an about section. They're going to make it all hypothetically and contact form. And again, here they've picked a different set of colors. I'm going to let it continue and do it. Again, like if I tell it to pick a different primary color or a secondary color, if any designers here want to have a color scheme in mind and want to tell me that, okay, use this color, you can tell me in the comments, and I'll just take that design cue and show that variation right now.
Chitra was just asking, what's the advantages, disadvantages of HTML versus Wix, since you were talking about
Wix also creates that only. The Wix is like a tool to build these websites before LLMs were this good. So
it's like a UI. It's a friendly UI where you can drag and drop for non-technical people.
Yeah, so this, if you have a paid plan, if you have a 2000 rupee plan, ek bar website, you make it and that's it. You don't need to keep paying. Wix, you might need to keep paying for some premium things, etc. So Wix is also definitely a good option to make websites if that is a format which you prefer. This requires you to be a little more handy, but there's no real major difference. Okay, so since nobody has any design recommendations, I will just accept what ChatGPT is saying. I hope that answers. If not, feel free to interrupt and I will clarify further. I'm going to paste the second prompt here itself. Sounds good. Now generate the code for this website. Again, I'm asking for the same things that I asked the Claude to give me. And let's see what Gemini has done. Okay, Gemini started with the color scheme and typography and things like that. It's given me a layout structure, services section. Again, it's come up with like a different set of services than what ChatGPT did, but I'm just going to again accept everything that it's giving me. At this point, if you want, you can copy all of this and change the copy everywhere. So here, like just copy all of this to a Google Doc, change all the copy and paste it back and ask it to use the new copy that you're giving it. So again, sounds good. Coming back to where, see, the way you see everything that One sec. It's just loading. So this is an HTML file. You see here it's created, Claude has created an HTML file and a CSS file. What you see here is an HTML file. So you see it has all these URLs also. It has plain content and some icons, while the CSS file is usually like just a bunch of code, front-end code, which HTML code, which includes like all these design things. I'm going to ask it to show me a preview. In the artifacts. What we see here on the right will be a preview of what the website that Claude has created for us. That way it will be easier to look at things we might want to change. We might want to change the button colors. We might want to add a new section or remove it, things like that. So having a preview sort of makes it easy. All three platforms will give you a preview if you want. So on Gemini, you go and ask for the canvas. It's called a canvas here. Here again, I'll say, show me the preview in the canvas. It's called canvas in Gemini and ChatGPT, and it's called artifacts in Claude. But basically, they'll just give me a preview. So here again, it's going to combine the consolidate both HTML and CSS to give me like a preview, and I'll be able to see what it has created. Same thing here. I'm going to go to options and click on canvas. So it uses the canvas and ask it to show me the. So ChatGPT doesn't always show me the preview, even if I ask it to. It's just not something I prefer to use for that reason. But yeah, it's loading. Still writing. All of them are still writing code. Okay, so this is a basic website it has created. If I go to about section here, it comes to my professional photo. It's done the services bit. I will show you what it looks like if you download it and open it in your platform. It's come up with all of this copy on its own. I'm sure Gemini has done a better job. Okay, yeah. So Gemini has done this. You can always change this image. This is the website it's created. It even came up with like a fake photo, which again we can replace. And it's come up with this form as well. So the first one I'm going to, since the Gemini one looks better, I'm going to download it. And where is it? Yeah. So this is the CSS file. I'm going to copy the CSS file. I'll create a new folder here. AIEC website. And here I'm going to create a new document. So I'll go, you can do this like, if you're on Mac, just open TextEdit.
I don't think I can see any other screen. Yeah, in case you're changing the screen share, we can't see.
One sec. Okay, can you guys see my desktop now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to open a tool called TextEdit on Mac. I don't remember what it's called on Windows, but
The notepad.
yeah, Notepad, right. So just create a new document, and just here you have to make sure it's plain text. Paste it, paste what I copied here. Here I copied the CSS, right? So that Gemini wrote. So I'm just going to copy that and save as style.css. Can everybody see what I just did right now?
It's quite
Yes.
small. It's quite small, but yeah, I think I mean I know that in the text is small, but as in you remove the dot text ending and you change it to dot CSS.
Yes, just rename it to style.css, and I'm going to save it in the folder that I just made. Where is it? Okay, I'm just going to save it on the desktop first and then use. So it will ask me whether I want to use .txt, but no, because it's a CSS, we want to use the CSS. And now I'm going to drag and drop this styles.css in my AIEC folder. I made a folder, like it can't be living, I say independently. It has to live, your website has to live in a folder. So here you see it in the folder. And similarly, we'll copy the HTML. Again, I'll open TextEdit, create a new document, make sure that it is plain text. I don't think you need to do this plain text thing in Notepad from what I remember, but yeah, make sure you save it in the exact terms that your LLM writes it. It will most likely be something HTML. So what else? What was it called?
I think maybe a clarification here is that we shouldn't be using something like MS Word or something, right? We have to use some kind of text editor.
Absolutely, yes. Don't use MS Word, use a text editor or Notepad. Those are your two options. So yeah, you will call it index.html because that's what it calls here. So make sure you copy this exact name. Don't come up with your own my website or anything like that, because both of these files are referring to each other. So if you rename them, then it will not know what to refer to. So it's like think of it like an offline URL. So make sure you copy that. Here it said index HTML and style CSS respectively. So those are the names I've copied. Here I've said index HTML, and then I'm going to save it. And it's again going to ask me whether use HTML or TXT, just to be sure. And I'll click on use HTML, close it, and I will, you can see it saved it to my desktop. I'll just drag it here. Now, if I open this, so this is the folder. This is the AIEC folder where I saved both the files, right? If I click on it, and if I click on index HTML, see, it comes up with the final document that it created, the website that it created. Now, there was an image here that Gemini had come up on its own, if you remember. So I'm going to, so if you remember what Gemini did, it came up with this image. So I'm going to ask it that tell me what the image should be called. The code will have referred to it. So I will ask it, how have you referred to it? So whatever name it gives me, I will save my photo with that name. I want to use my own photo. Tell me with what name do I, to ensure it shows up next to meet Sarah. So I'm referring to this. LLMs are smart enough to understand what you're referring to. Again, if you're doing this on a free plan, this will get like a little complicated. So it's going to refer to its own code within the code that it's written and figure out what it refers to an image source. So I'm going to tell it uh, save the image now. I copied the code you gave earlier and saved it on my system. But the picture didn't. Okay, I think I need to resave this. I'm going to continue with the Gemini only. Do I need to resave the code? A better way to have gone about this, which I will show with Claude, is I'll just take a photo and tell it to use my photo. Hey, can you use my photo in about section? So now it will update my website. Meanwhile, let's see what Gemini is doing. Yes, you do need to update the code in your HTML. Okay, so it's asking me to edit the HTML file. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'll copy this, go back to my folder, open with his always text edit. Copy it. Make sure it's plain text and then save it again.
So while you're doing this work, a lot of people are concerned about uploading your picture to GPT. But I'm guessing because it's in the public space already.
Yeah, I don't really, I mean, you can, again, as I said, like tell it that give me what it should be called, and then you can save it in the folder. So it said Sarah JPG, right? So you can sort of do that.
But I'm thinking that if you're going to be uploading it to a website online, it doesn't
Yeah.
make a difference whether GPT has it or not. So maybe guys that, when you're uploading something in any like a public Instagram account or public Facebook account, that picture is already available online freely. So when you upload a GPT, it doesn't change, it shouldn't change the apprehension because it's already in the public space.
Exactly. I think all we can do is make sure that our kids or future existing or future kids ka photos we keep away, because that is honestly that scares me at this point. But okay, so so now Gemini told me here to save it as Sarah JPEG, right? Where were we? I've just updated the code the new code that Gemini gave me in the same index HTML file. I'm going to call it as Sarah JPEG. So I'll save my own photo. I'll take a mock photo. Save image. Sara.jpg is what it had told me to save it as. And I will put it again back in the folder that we were working with. So now if I open the same index.html file, it will refer to the Sara photo that's here. Now that is one photo. Other things also, if you want to upload it, other images, you wanted to use your own images, just tell it upfront that, okay, I want to use XYZ images at XYZ places. Tell me under what name I should save it. For example, you want to use like a dashboard here. So this dashboard, Gemini has come up with something on its own, but you want to use a dashboard that you yourself have created, an image you have created. Maybe it will say dashboard JPEG or whatever. So again, you will save all of that here. So now if I click on index.html, it refers to the image that we just saved. So guys, that is basically how you create like a very basic websites. I want to go through a few variations on things that you can change. I already showed you how to change header images or any photo images, how to add new sections. So sticking to, okay, if here it is using my photo that I uploaded. If I see the preview now, okay, it's showing, it's not referring to it, but it's asking me to download all of it. Okay, so this is going to be my Claude. Let's see the preview of what Claude has given me. Now, I am showing it to you offline, but because all of these things have things like preview, you don't really need to save things offline until you are ready to save it. This is what Claude made, and kuch galti ki hai Claude ne. Yeah. This is what Claude came up with. Again, you can change any or all sections here. Just to say, I want to make this Let's Talk Strategy button blue, and I want to make sure it takes me to youtube.com. Change the Let's Talk Strategy button in the header. It should be blue in color, and it should redirect me to youtube.com. You can put whatever website you want here. You can take it to like your Calendly page or your booking page or directly to your WhatsApp, things like that. Now, because I had saved the entire thing that Claude gave me offline, now I will have to delete it because it will give me a new thing. So it's easier to just like make all the changes you want here itself in the preview itself. How much time do we have? We have like 5-6 more minutes. So that is most of the. Are there any other specific changes people want to see? You want to see me add a cal.com embedded form or a Luma events embedded form, anything like that? We've already done the new section, header image, button changes. Any requests, sir?
I think everyone is just so Shwarya said add a simple contact form. I think you are planning on doing that, right?
Yeah, I'll do that. We're already in 11:40, so I will do it, but
Yeah, it's okay if we go over, as in I'll just pause you to discuss Q&A, but whoever can stay on. It's recorded anyways, so then people can follow up later. Another question from Gitika is, can we add a quiz or an assessment of sorts, I guess, into...
You'll have to quiz for quiz, you'll have to use a different quiz platform and you can redirect it to. So you can take a button. These are static basic websites. So you can have a button here that says take our automation quiz to understand, or take our email quiz to understand how good your email copy is, and you click on it and it can go to your quiz platform. So Google Forms have a very good quiz integration, so you can use something like that. But because we are building very basic static websites, it's not possible to add quizzes here. I mean, it's just like beyond
Yeah,
purview of
scope
this.
of this, yeah. And also, one more question is, how do you add a calendar? I guess it's embedding a calendar, right?
Yeah, you'll embed a calendar. I'll show that as well. So let me, because some people want to drop off at 12, let me show you how to deploy this website on Netlify and like take it live. That'll take like 5 minutes. And then we'll discuss a few tweaks that people want to keep making. Does that sound okay? Okay. So as I asked it to change the color, so it did, it made it blue. And when I click on it, because it's Claude, it's giving me a warning, but if it's your website, it will not give people a warning. So now, as you can see, it's redirecting to youtube.com. So the change we asked was made like in a second. This is why I prefer not to save it until I'm happy with Claude, what Claude creates here. Just to, I don't know what happened to Claude today, but just to show you what it was building last night for me. By the way, this entire deck that you guys are watching today is something Claude made in one shot. I gave it a very detailed prompt and it made that entire I want to show what Claude made yesterday. For the same, I used the same prompts and it made something much better yesterday. Like I really liked these, the color scheme, etc. that it came up with yesterday. I don't know what happened today. And it's just, you can't expect the exact same results. That's why what you can control is the input you give. So for my website, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's a little bit like Ali Abdal's website. Sorry, that's Alibaba. So not just this part is obviously similar, but other than that, like this whole, it pops up and circles a few things and like the font and like generally it's quite somewhat similar to his schema and everything. So I use that as a reference. I asked it to like take some inspiration from Ali Abdal's website. But okay, I'm going to show you how to, because we have saved the Gemini one with image and everything. I am going to show you how to upload it. So we'll go to something called netlify.com. This is a completely free platform. I'm going to log in. Did I log in with Gmail or GitHub? I just verify now. As you can see, like I made this website on Netlify as well. Go to Netlify, sign in with Google. You'll automatically come here. For you, this area will be blank. You'll add a new project where you'll say, can everybody see? I'll just, okay. So,
Now we can.
yeah. So I'll say, I'll browse to upload. We had saved it here. So I'll click on the AIEC thing that we had made and I'll click on upload. It's uploading. Now it's ready. So it's already ready. It took like less than a minute. This is where it has uploaded it. It's called, it just comes up with random names. So now this is a live URL. I'm going to share it in the chat. As you can see, this is not just on my system. Feel free to, Neha, if you're showing, can you just open that URL in your system so people can see that this website is live?
Yes, just give me a second. There we go. This is from my computer, guys. So it is live, as you can see.
Feel free to use what's in the chat. If feel free to open it on your phones as well if you're watching this on your phone.
Here's the form, the contact form as well.
Yeah. So we will connect this to Netlify forms. So then we'll automatically get every time somebody fills this up. I've used Netlify forms for my own website. Actually, I just recently changed it to cal.com. But yeah, so I used to get an email every time somebody filled it up. I'll just show. So
You have to start sharing your screen.
okay, sorry. Oh, so every time, because Netlify is where I'm hosting my own website, whenever somebody would fill out that form, there's a brochure requesting. So every time somebody would do that, I would used to get this email directly on my email, which was connected on Netlify. So these were the form fields. It's a very simple email. Now I have changed it to like a cal.com booking. I'll show that as well, how to use cal. Cal.com is just like Calendly. It's like a open source free Calendly sort of thing. I have not used this part is, as you can see, like build with an AI agent new, but here you can sort of do more changes. It might ask you to sign in with Claude to do this, but you can go to, if you want to add your own domain. So if you own your own domain, Sarah Chen owns her own domain. Here you go to domain management, click on add domain, or you can say add all domain you already know, or buy a new domain and link your domain. Because when you first upload your website or deploy it, as it's called, taking it live is called deploying it. When you first deploy your website with uh, Netlify, it just gives you a random, this is called C Magnifica Crosenta. I don't even know what is this. But yeah, it just comes up with whatever random bunch of names it has. You don't have to live with those names. Just go to domain management here and you'll see. So again, like if you get open Netlify and get confused, this is every time you log in, it will take you to app.com Netlify. Go to projects. This is your website. This is all the projects you are hosting with Netlify. Ignore all of these things. They are useful if it's a very high stake website. Anything beyond a personal portfolio or things like that, you might want to like slowly understand those things. But my goal for today was just to like make this process a little less complex for you. So yeah, one thing, you can just keep dropping screenshots in Claude, Gemini, whatever. Ask them to explain it to you that, hey, do I need to use this? What is this for my website? Give it more context, things like that.
I've also seen what helps is if you like a particular website, you can take a screenshot of it and say, do it in this style.
Yeah.
Or I like the colors or the layout or something like that. And then it kind of organizes the code for you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna, there are a couple of questions that came up earlier in the chat, which I've noted down. So I'm just gonna quickly go over that before we continue. Someone wanted to know how you can host this on GitHub pages. Is that within the scope?
That is, yeah, that's just very easy. You can just, one sec.
You're not sharing your screen.
I will share it now. Can you guys see?
Yes.
So here itself, you can, once you open it, there should be a button here itself. Wait. I've done this for my website as well. I uploaded with her, like I uploaded a folder like this, and oh, I forgot where it says that. One sec. I'll ask Claude. How to connect it to GitHub was the question, right?
How do you deploy your website on GitHub pages? So I don't think it's from Netlify. I think she means like if you want to
Oh,
do GitHub pages website.
it works in a very similar way, I'm sure. I personally
I've
haven't
done
done.
it.
Yeah, I personally haven't done it, but it's similar. So my husband's website is on. I know a lot of coders. This is on hosted on GitHub. Very similar way. He bought Veerantk.com from somewhere else, and it's a very simple website that this is what engineers typically prefer. So yeah, this is how people do it, and it works in a very similar way. The idea being that it will be a little more complex than what we did with Netlify because it's built for a different audience. But you can just give screenshots and do it in
I
a
think
simple.
yeah, you just upload the same thing, the HTML file, CSS file, the folder
Yeah,
basically. You upload it onto their GitHub pages, and that's it. Like, and then you just deploy it.
yeah.
Another question we had earlier was if you could talk a bit about SEO and GPTSO and how to sort of again, I'm not sure if this is within the scope of this website.
So I think here when you go to project configuration, there's an option to see if it's like a high stakes SEO sort of website, you might not want to use this as a method, right? One thing is to, if you know the SEO keywords you want to use, optimize and do the backlinking, etc. for your website, do it while writing the content for your website itself. For more layers of SEO optimization, where it's like a high stakes lead gen sort of thing, this might not be the best channel for you. Just keyword optimization can be done because you're writing the content yourself.
You could even ask when you're writing the initial prompts, you could update the prompt to say, right, make it SEO optimized or something like that. Okay, so now we have a couple of questions in the chat. So should we start going through them before and then continue? So Soumya has asked, is it possible to use Cache, have analytics and list viewers on this?
Sorry, what's that platform called? Cache?
No, can you use Cache, like CACHE, caching? I guess Netlify would have that behind the scenes anyways.
Yeah.
Soumya, feel free to unmute if there's something specific you want to know, because I'm not exactly sure what you mean by use cache, because caching is generally available by default in a lot of websites in terms of like the platform that you deploy on. So there's something specific that you're referring to, feel free to unmute and clarify.
Thanks, Neha and Heer. So my question is, if you use cache, then a person who's a revisitor, they don't need to fill their information again. So can we use that kind of a
We don't need to do anything. That is their browser settings.
That client side.
Yeah.
okay? And also, then is there any analytics behind who are the visitors, number of trips, and how much time they're spending at what?
Yeah, this was an option. I'll just open this again. This was an option in Netlify itself. If you go here, project overview is where we were sitting. If you go to logs and metrics, you go to web analytics, and it's a paid feature. So you'll have to like get a premium Netlify plan for this, but you can enable it here.
Perfect. Thank you.
That's like $10 a month.
Yeah, it's
Understood.
not too bad. Next question is from Gitika. What kind of websites work best to deploy on Netlify? Is it just static or can they be more complex?
No, they can be more complex. Doesn't have to be just plain HTML either. Uh, yeah, it can be more like things for Shopify, like e-commerce, etc. I will not recommend Netlify. Shopify is great. Dukaan and things like that are great. But for like basically like any simple websites or portfolio websites or selling simple online goods, where if you're selling your good on Topmate or something, but you want to use your own website because you want to capture people's emails who are interested, it's a good option. And again, like the problem with like saying out a lot of these things is that they are changing by the minute, right? So when I first made my website with this, like Gemini and ChatGPT were really shitty. I made all of it with Claude at the time because it was like 4 or 5 months ago. So these things changed so much. Like at the time, you saw those little animations, like those yellow lines that are here on this website. ये underline hai and this underlines here. That is relatively new because the first time Claude did it, Claude also fucked it up like 3 months ago. So things are changing by the minute right now. Netlify is best for like showing your portfolio, showing your things like that, and it does like small animations quite smoothly.
Awesome. So the next question is by Aishwarya. And guys, by the way, please feel free to raise your hand. I'll keep asking you in order of hand raising. You don't have to put everything in the chat. Aishwarya is asking, is it possible to track Netlify visits on Google Analytics as you have to embed a tracking code in the website code?
Let's ask Claude. I'm sure there's a way.
Yeah, so I don't think it matters whether it's on Netlify or anything. In your HTML file, you probably add the tracking code as per my understanding of when I did GA.
Yeah, that's exactly what Claude is saying. Neha's right. Just take your
Yeah, in the
URL,
header section.
your analytics, and you have to add this to your HTML. So again, you might want to use come back to the LLM to add this section. Embed. So cal.com or any other connecting your Luma page or things like that will also work very similarly, where you will go to that website, you will take your
The
embed.
link or the code,
Yeah.
embed code.
Yeah.
And then basically you have to upload those files back into Netlify again, right, to update it.
Yeah.
Anyone else, please feel free to raise your hands while we're in the Q&A section so that we can get you guys asking your questions. This is the advantage of being part of the actual session, is that you can talk to Heer directly and clarify any doubts.
I'm just going to show the cal.com thing.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, keep asking. I'm just showing some things that I remember in the background to ensure that I cover everything. But keep asking. Feel free to unmute yourselves if Neha gives you a get go.
I have a question very quickly. I'm trying to make a website for my NGO, which means that we'll have a lot of sub pages with a lot of programs that I have been doing or will be doing, and that means there'll be a lot of photos because it's also part of the documentation. So, gallery in or not going into this sort of static HTML. What do you can?
He's static only. So
Okay.
look into it. Ask one of these platforms if there's a way to embed an existing gallery. It might have a different thing, or you can just like again like add all of these photos to your folder and just keep the numbers simple 1 2 3 4 5 6. So the LLM will give you a way how to sort of do the folders. So because you'll have a lot of images, it will ask you to create a subfolder called assets, and inside assets it will ask you to upload all of those folders, and it'll have certain numbers. Or there might be an easier way, again like the idea of it being that you can figure a lot of this out with LLMs. So ask it that have embed mein free options kya hai to embed galleries.
Okay, thanks.
Anyone else questions, please raise your hand. I'll call out your names and we can ask questions. think it feels like most people are okay so far.
I had that question about SEO, search optimization of these websites. How do we work that into the code?
So the content, some SEO can be done when you're putting in the content. So keyword optimization can happen there itself. Depends on how many layers of SEO you want to do, right? You want to do Google ranking. This might not be the best way, because if you want to like aggressively do SEO, it's a very high stakes situation. So this is a simple, what I'm showing today is a very simple hack to set up like presence sort of things, links of websites that you can share with people.
I guess it would be good for like word of mouth, where you want to have your portfolio up there or your own profile or like a resume of sorts. So it's like, hey, I just need a quick website demonstrating my skills and my classes or workshops or whatever, like in Hiru's case. So you throw one up and you can share it with other people. So SEO, as she said, is more like, trying to, if you're competing with all the rankings and stuff, you need a lot of additional plugins and stuff that are available. So for example, you're using WordPress, they have SEO plugins that will update the code for you accordingly, because it's become a very algorithmic, ranking system these days. So it's not as easy as just doing keyword optimization.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any more questions, or should we continue, guys? I think is there anything else here actually do you want to do in your work part of your workshop?
No, I think we've covered. I wanted to show a few changes that I was making, but we've covered most of them. If any more changes people want to see how to make them, we'll do that. But yeah, I think
you want to add a calendar, embed a calendar.
you want to embed your Google Calendar or your availability calendar.
I think the question just said embedding a calendar. How do I add? Let me just go.
Specify what calendar you want to embed.
Could you show how to add a calendar? This is Mansa. Yeah, she's raised her hand. Please feel free to unmute yourself.
Hi, hi Neha. Hi, Heer. Can you hear me all right?
Hi.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Heer. It was very, very nice and informative. You got the time and also showed us in so much detail. And I was actually wondering if you could show us how to put a Calendly calendar in, so where I can, schedule meetings and show my availability. That was the idea.
Got it. So Calendly is paid, so I don't have Calendly, but I what is on my website is this is a cal.com. This is a cal.com calendar. So it books directly things on cal.com.
Okay.
You will get an embed code, I think. Once you log in, you should get an embedding code, and you'll have to add that embed code to your HTML. Just ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to interrupt to tell you that it doesn't have to be Calendly. You can even show us how you did it with cal.com. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to get an idea how you do it, because I think that's kind of key when you build a personal website like this, right?
Makes sense. Absolutely. Embed a scheduling website. Go to app. One second. It is like 2 months ago.
On your cal.com, you should have some embed code, right? In the custom settings or something. That's how we do it on Google Calendar. You go to the settings and there's an embed code. Here, embed instructions.
How to figure you don't normally need you know what, I'm just going to take my event types. This is the, I'm going to ask it to give me a Calendly again, I'm going to show you the power of LLMs. So I asked, I want to embed this calendar, allowing people to book directly from website. But I know what I'll get. It's that HTML thing. I just don't remember where to find it on cal.com. So replace contact form with cal.com. Now I need the cal.com embed script and add some CSS styling. So it's finding that script on its own. It's removing the older form and adding that embedded script. Yes, Mansa, speak out loud.
Yeah, so it's just no different technically from uploading a picture, right? So you just replace or you add the link to the Calendly form then in this case, or the cal.com
Sorry,
embed
I'm
code in that case.
heard you clearly. Neha, did you catch that?
A
Most-
little bit. It was breaking up quite a bit. Maybe if you can put that on the chat. Also on my side, I have my Google Calendar embed code open for the appointment calendar. If you want, I can share that with you or show that on the screen.
Sure. Okay, it is created that it's created it has fucked up the CSS styling. I gave it the link. Embedding usne kiya hai, but it has fucked up the CSS styling. So I'm going to ask it to.
Okay, so no, she's saying that it's not. Is it not so different from adding or replacing your photo?
Yeah, it's not different. Just chat with your LLM. It will make that change. Maybe it will ask you to go to cal.com and fetch you certain information. Again, like always volunteer. This all comes down to prompt engineering, which is just like basically offering help, being aware, telling the LLM that, okay, if you need certain information, ask me, I'll fetch it with you. But these days, like LLMs can do web search, so they can find whatever they need and just tell it exactly what you want, exactly how you want it to look, where you want it to come. And if you don't understand, ask it to explain you. It's all just comes down to prompt engineering.
Yeah, you just put in the embed code. So you can get that from any of the settings section on your calendars. And if it's like a appointment calendar as well, they will have some kind of embed code. I am happy to show the Google Calendar one if anyone wants to see, because I have that, here for an appointment calendar. But otherwise, it's generally the same thing. And you put that into your code where you can ask your LLM as well, like where in the code do you want me to put it in?
Yeah, why don't I've stopped presenting so Neha can show what.
Okay, sorry. Here, so on my Google Calendar, I have a like a booking page, if you can see on the left, and you go to sharing options, and then you see this website embed code, and then you can choose whether you want a button with a pop-up, or you want an inline booking page, which is kind of what you were thinking of when you say embed, right? So you want to have like a booking form in there. So you just embed this code at that part of the HTML in your website where this form is supposed to be, basically.
So you can copy this code and just say that add it to the end or add it after XYZ section and it will do it. I got a response from Claude. It is very similar for, okay, Mans has given a thumbs up, but I'll just finish this point. Yeah, it's very similar here. Yeah, there's an embed code here if people can see. I missed it. But yeah, I clicked on this and it gave me the embed code. So I'll just copy this and I'll give it to my LLM, ask it to add it. But yeah, that's Calendly should have a similar embed code available. This is like very simple for LLMs to do. Yes. Any more questions?
Okay, I guess there are no more questions. Is there anything else you want to add here? Since I did pause you for the Q&A.
I think I covered everything. I just wanted to show the domain thing is, I'm assuming, clear where you can change the domain and go to domain management and you'll change the domain here in Netlify.
We have a relatively heavy question by DS, which is how do you create a database-driven website?
What do you mean by what do you mean when you say like?
DS, would you like to unmute and ask? I don't think.
Whoever asked.
Using a backend, like using SQL or something in the backend. I think that would That's a big, like building a website with a full Postgres or SQL backend.
I haven't done that. I'm not the right person to answer that question. Like, I don't know what are you trying to achieve is what I'm trying to understand. You are telling me the tools you want to use. So if you tell me what you want
Yeah.
to achieve, I can.
Maybe I can venture a guess here. If they want to use a backend, using a backend, then that would mean like a full-fledged website with and then you would not probably use a static HTML website. In that case, you would have to use like a WordPress or something, because that will have your database in the setting up your whole thing. And I wouldn't suggest doing that simply through LLM. You can use LLMs to guide you on how to build this. But you definitely would not want to code in the HTML for something like this. You would want to use some kind of React or Node.js or some kind of JS framework to build this website. It would not be, I don't think it would be within the scope of building this workshop's HTML website.
Even e-commerce, like a lot of people have a database SQL for e-commerce, things like that. Again, this is not the correct format of website for that. This is more like a ready, like portfolio sort of things, or simple products or simple presence sort of thing.
A static website would not be very friendly towards using, like you would use a backend when your website is dynamic, not exactly static. Because they've messaged saying they would want to make a static website with a backend. Okay. Anything else, guys? Okay, well, I guess then thank you so much, Heer, for doing this workshop for us again. It was absolutely amazing, and I hope it was useful for people. Okay, I think DS's he was presenting how to build a static database, and I asked him more advanced, like dynamic web page. Actually, no, he did not present a static database. Sorry, go ahead, Heer. I'll let you answer that.
This is not a static, this is a static website. There's no database here. The data is what you see on the live website itself. So
there was no database connection in this.
This is a plain basic static website. Yes.
Yes. So for dynamic web page, I would say it goes beyond the scope of this workshop and maybe something more advanced. If he is
do with an LLM, but not something I can teach in an hour.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think that's like a full course in itself. So thank you so much, Heer, for taking this time on your Saturday weekend, and obviously to everyone else who's attending. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining. And guys, you can ask us questions in our community. Get in touch. Heer is part of the community. You can talk to her there. So thank you once again, and we really like what everyone asked and the questions. I hope it was useful. Everything will be shared with you after this call. Please keep an eye on your emails that you registered on the Luma page with, and the recording will come up on YouTube as well.
Thank you, Neha. Thank you for having me. Thanks everyone for attending.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.